$1,750 billion. $75 billion raised in a single day. More than twice the previous world record. And 30% of it is available on Robinhood. Here is everything you need to know before June 12th. An IPO is when a private company sells shares to the public for the first time. The company sets a price. Investors buy in. The stock begins trading. June 12th is the most important date in financial markets this year. Here is the comparison that puts this in perspective. Saudi Aramco went public in 2019. That was the biggest IPO in history. They raised $29.4 billion. SpaceX is trying to raise $75 billion. That is not 10% bigger. That is more than 2.5 times bigger. This is the company everyone knows, but nobody could invest in. Until now. Part 1, what SpaceX actually is now. Most people think SpaceX equals rockets. Falcon 9. Dragon capsule. NASA contracts. The company that replaced the space shuttle. That company is real. That company is profitable. But that is not what you are buying on June 12th. In February 2026, SpaceX merged with xAI. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence company. The one that built Grok. The one that owns Colossus. A 220,000 GPU supercomputer. Sitting in Memphis, Tennessee. So SPCX is actually 3 businesses inside one stock. Business 1, SpaceX. Rockets. NASA contracts. Starship development. The infrastructure of American space dominance. Business 2, Starlink. Satellite internet beaming down from orbit. 10 million subscribers as of February 2026. Growing by 750,000 to 1.5 million new users every single month. Last quarter Starlink posted $1.19 billion in profit. Full year 2025 Starlink revenue, $15 to $16 billion. This is the engine that makes the valuation defensible. Business 3, xAI. Grok. Colossus. And the most shocking line buried in the S1. Listen carefully. Anthropic, the AI company valued at $900 billion. Is paying SpaceX $1.25 billion every single month for GPU compute. Every single month. Through May 2029. That is $15 billion per year. Anthropic's entire compute bill is SpaceX's revenue. Without that contract, the entire profitability case for Colossus collapses. That one sentence should be on the front page of every financial publication. Part 2, the numbers decoded. $1.75 trillion. What does that actually mean? Amazon is worth $1.73 trillion. Google is worth $1.71 trillion. SpaceX on day one would be worth more than both of them. Approaching Apple's $2.8 trillion market cap. A rocket company. With AI inside it. $75 billion raised in a single offering. From 21 banks. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley leading the syndicate. Bank of America, Citigroup and JP Morgan behind them. Saudi Aramco raised $29.4 billion in 2019. That was the world record for 7 years. SpaceX is going to shatter it by 2.5 times. In one day. Now the revenue multiple. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. At $1.75 trillion and $18.67 billion in revenue. You are paying 58 to 65 times what SpaceX earns in a full year. Amazon at peak valuation mania traded at 50 times revenue. SpaceX is more expensive than Amazon at its most expensive moment ever. The entire bet is on what Starlink and xAI become, not what they currently are. The Starlink story is the bull case made real. $1.19 billion profit last quarter. 10 million subscribers and growing fast. 750,000 to 1.5 million new users every month. No competitor has anything close to its global coverage. That growth rate is what justifies the premium. The net loss is the bear case made real. $4.9 billion net loss in 2025. Like OpenAI. Like Anthropic. The AI and space infrastructure costs more to build than it currently earns. For now. That word, for now, is doing a lot of work in this valuation. Part 3, the retail investor angle. Here is the most unusual feature of this IPO. And it is the reason 30 million people on Robinhood should be paying attention. Standard megacap IPO mechanics work like this. Institutions, hedge funds, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds get 95 to 97% of shares at the IPO price. Retail investors buy on the open market after the stock has already moved. In simple terms, institutions win. Retail buys the peak. SpaceX is doing something fundamentally different. 30% of the float goes directly to retail investors. Via Robinhood, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab. That is 3 times the standard norm for a megacap IPO. That means you, a regular person with a brokerage account, can apply for shares at the IPO price. Not the opening market price. The IPO price. Before any pop. Before institutions have moved it. Why is SpaceX doing this? Elon Musk has 153 million followers on X. Many of them have Robinhood accounts. A retail-friendly IPO creates loyal shareholders who hold long. It creates goodwill. It creates press. It turns customers into investors and investors into evangelists. But retail investors need to hear the honest risk. The IPO price is not always the bottom. If institutions are selling their allocation immediately, the stock can fall after listing. Ask anyone who bought Rivian on day 1. Or Lyft. Or Uber. Retail access at IPO price is not a guaranteed win. It is access. What you do with that access is your decision. Part 4, the Musk control problem. This is the most important thing the headlines are not leading with. And you need to understand it before you spend a single dollar. You can buy SPCX on June 12th. You will own SpaceX shares. You will have essentially zero say in how the company is run. Elon Musk controls 85.1% of all votes. Class B shares carry 10 votes each. Musk holds 93.6% of Class B shares. Public shareholders, you, hold Class A shares. 1 vote each. In practice, if Musk decides SpaceX should acquire Twitter again, he votes yes. If SpaceX wants to transfer $10 billion to XAI in related party transactions, yes. If the board ever wants to remove the CEO, they cannot. 85.1% says no. This structure is not unique in tech. Google, Meta, and Snap all have dual-class voting structures. But Musk's control is more absolute than any major public company operating today. The only governance right you have as an SPCX shareholder is this. If you disagree with a decision, you can sell the stock. That is it. That is your only recourse. Is this a deal breaker? You decide. But you should decide with complete information. Not after June 12th when the stock is already moving. Part 5, should you buy SPCX? I am not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is investment advice. But I can give you the honest bull case and the honest bear case. You make the call. The bull case. Starlink is growing at 750,000 to 1.5 million subscribers per month. No competitor has global coverage anywhere close. XAI's Colossus is the most powerful AI compute cluster outside of the major cloud providers. Anthropic is paying $1.25 billion a month for it through 2029. SpaceX has hit its launch manifests with extraordinary reliability for years. Starship eventually makes everything else in the space industry uncompetitive on cost. And you are buying the future of Earth orbit, global internet and AI compute infrastructure. All in a single ticker at a single price. The bear case. $4.9 billion net loss in 2025. 58 to 65 times forward revenue requires flawless execution, forever. 85.1% voting control means you have zero recourse if Musk makes a decision you disagree with. The XAI merger means rocket company financials and AI company financials are mixed together. Which business are you actually buying? Which business is driving the loss? Starship is still unproven at commercial scale. 3 businesses. 1 stock. Enormous complexity. The honest answer is that nobody knows if 1.75 trillion is the right price. Polymarket puts a 98% probability that SPCX closes day 1 above 1 trillion. Synthetic SPCX contracts on Hyperliquid imply a $2.4 trillion valuation. But markets can be wrong. Sentiment can shift. Your job is to understand what you are buying before that day arrives. Part 6, The Bigger Picture. SpaceX going public matters beyond the money. For the first time, Musk will need to answer to quarterly earnings. Financial disclosures. SEC filings. Analyst calls. That transparency pressure is entirely new for this company. And what comes out of those filings will be revealing. The space sector repricing happens the moment SPCX opens. Rocket Lab is already up 76% year to date. Planet Labs is up 110%. Satellogic is up 407%. EchoStar has risen 499% over the past year. The day SPCX prints its first tick. Every ticker in the space sector reprices immediately. Up or down. The whole sector moves with it. The AI angle nobody is talking about loudly enough. XAI inside SpaceX means the world's most powerful private AI compute cluster is now owned by a public company. Anthropic is paying $15 billion a year to that public company. Every quarter those numbers become public. That changes how AI compute is valued globally, across every company in the sector. And the Musk net worth moment. 42% of 1.75 trillion equals $735 billion. Add Tesla, X, Neuralink and Boring Company. Elon Musk becomes the world's first confirmed trillionaire on June 12, 2026. If SPCX opens at the targeted price. Opinion and take. Saudi Aramco went public in 2019. Everyone called it the biggest IPO in history. SpaceX is going to make it look small. You have 16 days to decide if you want to be part of that. The 30% retail allocation is the most access regular investors have ever been given to a deal this size. What you do with that access is your decision. But make it as an informed investor. Not because of the hype. Call to action. Subscribe for daily AI and financial news in 2026. Drop a comment below, are you buying SPCX on June 12th? Yes, no, or watching from the sidelines, and why? Let me know. I read every single comment. This video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decision.